Sahih al-Bukhari 2321. Narrated Abu Umama al-Bahili. I saw some agricultural equipment and said, I heard the Prophet saying, there is no house in which these equipment enters except that Allah will cause humiliation to enter it. Sahih al-Bukhari 2322. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, whoever keeps a dog, 1 qirat of the reward of his good deeds is deducted daily, unless the dog is used for guarding a farm or cattle. Abu Huraira, in another narration, said from the Prophet, unless it is used for guarding sheep or farms, or for hunting. Narrated Abu Hazim from Abu Huraira, the Prophet said, a dog for guarding cattle or for hunting. Sahih al-Bukhari 2323. Narrated as Sa'id bin Yazid. Abu Sufyan bin Abu Zuhair, a man from Az-Shanua and one of the companions of the Prophet, said, I heard Allah's Messenger saying, if one keeps a dog which is meant for guarding neither a farm nor cattle, 1 qirat of the reward of his good deeds is deducted daily. I said, did you hear this from Allah's Messenger? He said, yes, by the Lord of this mosque. Sahih al-Bukhari 2324. Narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, while a man was riding a cow, it turned towards him and said, I have not been created for this purpose, i.e. carrying, I have been created for plowing. The Prophet added, I, Abu Bakr and Umar believe in the story. The Prophet went on, a wolf caught a sheep, and when the shepherd chased it, the wolf said, who will be its guard on the day of wild beasts, when there will be no shepherd for it except me? After narrating it, the Prophet said, I, Abu Bakr and Umar too believe it. Abu Salama, a sub-narrator, said, Abu Bakr and Umar were not present then. Sahih al-Bukhari 2325. Narrated Abu Huraira. The Ansar said to the Prophet, distribute the date palm trees between us and our emigrant brothers. He replied, no. The Ansar said, to the emigrants, look after the trees, water and watch them, and share the fruits with us. The emigrants said, we listen and obey. Sahih al-Bukhari 2326. Narrated Abdullah. The Prophet got the date palm trees of the tribe of Bani Nadir burnt and the trees cut down at a place called al-Buwara. Hassan bin Thabit said in a poetic verse, the chiefs of Bani Luwai found it easy to watch fire spreading at al-Buwara. Sahih al-Bukhari 2327. Narrated Rafi bin Khadij. We worked on farms more than anybody else in Medina. We used to rent the land at the yield of specific delimited portion of it to be given to the landlord. Sometimes the vegetation of that portion was affected by blights etc., while the rest remained safe and vice versa, so the Prophet forbade this practice. At that time gold or silver were not used for renting the land. If they provided the seeds, they would get so and so much. Sahih al-Bukhari 2328. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. The Prophet concluded a contract with the people of Khaybar to utilize the land on the condition that half the products of fruits or vegetation would be their share. The Prophet used to give his wives 100 wasks each, 80 wasks of dates and 20 wasks of barley. When Umar became the caliph, he gave the wives of the Prophet the option of either having the land and water as their shares, or carrying on the previous practice. Some of them chose the land and some chose the wasks, and Aisha chose the land. Sahih al-Bukhari 2329. Narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet made a deal with the people of Khaybar that they would have half the fruits and vegetation of the land they cultivated. Sahih al-Bukhari 2330. Narrated Amr. I said to Taus, I wish you would give up mukabara, sharecropping, for the people say that the Prophet forbade it. On that Taus replied, O Amr. I give the land to sharecroppers and help them. No doubt, the most learned man, namely Ibn Abbas, told me that the Prophet had not forbidden it but said, it is more beneficial for one to give his land free to one's brother than to charge him a fixed rental.